As you know, we've come under fire lately. Apparently our environmental practices have come into question. So I'd like to start the meeting out, going over today's agenda. As you can see, these are the topics that we'll be talking about today.
That's ridiculous. The media's at it again. Always making something out of nothing.
Well, regardless of the media, we have a lot of complaints from the public.
As a corporation, we do so many things that are environmentally friendly. All of our data centers are on 100% renewable energy sources. We have recycling programs for our products, but the press, they're always saying we can't recycle our products. We pollute the rivers. The list just goes on and on.
Do they realize that Apple doesn't own the factories?
No, they don't care, and they don't realize it. The issue lies within our suppliers, and we are carrying all the burden and all the negative publicity.
As far as I'm concerned, Foxconn and all our other suppliers, they should be responsible for these facilities and what they're doing to the environment. We can't control what's going on in China.
No, just because Apple products are made there doesn't mean that Apple is the one polluting. It's like saying that Ford is killing drivers because they make cars.
Obviously, we have spent a lot of money on those facilities to reduce the impact on the environment. And do they mention that? Absolutely no. Seems that bad news is what sells.
Well, we have to do something with our supply chain. Its effects on the environment, look at the press we're getting. They're calling us high landfill, high wastewater, high worker abuse, and it just goes on and on and on.
What authority do we have to dictate how Foxconn operates their business?
Okay, so let me get this straight. If we do mandate that Foxconn change their practices, this is going to impact the cost of our product.
Sure.
Just think about the millions of dollars that come with this situation, and just imagine if Foxconn pays off a Chinese official the kind of negative publicity.
If the cost to manufacture our products goes up, then we'll have to charge more for it or be willing to cut into the profits. And we know shareholders expect, their earnings. They won't go for less earnings.
What's next? They want to say we abuse our employees also?
Well, actually,
There have been employees jumping out of windows at Foxconn.
oh, nice. But in all honesty, Foxconn has added nets around their buildings to catch falling employees who are jumping. I think we could turn this into a positive. We could spin this around. I'm thinking maybe a new line of business, the iNet or the iJump, guaranteed to catch your jumpers.
Perfect. Well, look, for the sake of our business and public image, we need to take action on some of these items.
Does anyone have suggestions on what we can do?
Well, we need to figure out a way to work with Foxconn to change their practices. What they're doing negatively is impacting our brand.
Well, at the end of the day, the Apple brand is what separates us from our competitors. And it's very valuable, obviously, and we need to protect it.
Yeah, consumers do buy anything with the Apple brand on it.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. Well, what about the media? Have they mentioned anything about our facilities and how they're all solar powered?
They have, and we can keep pushing that solar renewable energy media campaign. We should also tie in that we're creating jobs here in the United States by creating a new Mac Pro here. We just need to show the company in the best light.
Well, for the sake of time, let's move on down the agenda. The other item where we're getting some negative publicity is on the amount of taxes that we pay, or I should say that we don't pay.
We are not doing anything illegal to avoid paying taxes.
You are correct, yeah. We're using completely legal means here to lower our tax bill. And at the end of the day, that's exactly what our shareholders expect, so they can get a good return on their investment.
Well, here's the deal. I don't see why the United States government is so upset with companies keeping their money offshore. The tax rates in the United States are actually making companies find ways not to pay taxes. Ireland, for instance, has a tax rate of 2.5% on our earnings as a company, while the United States is at 35%.
Next time we go before Congress, we should, when they're worrying about the tax, that we don't pay taxes, then we should tell them that if they had a competitive tax rate, we wouldn't mind paying our fair share.
Sure, if corporate tax rates were lower, we'd be able to use that saved money to hire more employees, make our facilities more green, and all that money would eventually go back into the economy again.
Agree.
Yeah, if the tax rates were lower, the U.S. government would get more tax revenue, and then we'd be able to invest that money in operations and then get more money out of the taxed employees.
It's just because we found ways to be successful, the government and the media, they just want to make us a target.
All right, so to conclude the meeting, we need to take action on some of these items.
Certainly. Well, that leads us to conclude, and as a corporation, and first of all, as a board, we must do the following, 3 appropriate measures that we need to emphasize on improving sustainability. Well, 1, we need to get Foxconn to change their practices with how they're harming the environment. 2, we need Foxconn to change their labor practices and their factories. 3, last but not least, we will pay as a corporation what the United States government tax rules require us to pay. I mean, well, don't you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure. Well, let's go ahead and proceed with this.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Wow. Cue the next part.
We'll give the clapstick.